Welcome to Belize.
My name is Dan Voinis. I'm a naturalist and documentarian, and I spent my whole life working with and studying animals, particularly reptiles. Now, I'm using my filmmaking skills to share the animals I love with the rest of the world. Nestled in the Yucatan Peninsula of Central America, Belize is a paradise of tropical ecosystems. It was once the home of the Mayan Empire, and much like the adventure movies of old, these ancient ruins hide secret treasures, except these are treasures of nature. Right now we're in the ruins of Lamani, central Belize. This specific site was occupied up until around 1200 AD, several hundreds of years after most Mayan civilizations died out. The reason for this is because they actually sit on the largest body of fresh water in all of Belize. These magnificent pyramids have been perfectly preserved for hundreds of years, like this ball court, where the Mayans would play their unique and famous ball game. And of course, there's the Mayan merchandising. Ah yes, the most important part of Mayan culture, the gift shop. They say Montezuma himself would come here to buy his souvenir Belize brand towels. The dolphins were his favorite. This site sits in the middle of the Belizean rainforest and provides a home for hundreds of species of wildlife where they're protected from human development, like this troop of black howler monkeys. These monkeys are enjoying a leisurely afternoon nap, but it's not because they're lazy. Howler monkeys eat mostly leaves, which are very hard for their stomachs to digest, so they take this time to rest while their large digestive tract breaks down their leafy breakfast. Lamani comes from the Mayan phrase Laman Ayin, which translates to submerged crocodile. This refers to the large population of American crocodiles that live right here and around coastal Belize. So our plan on this trip is to start here at the Lamani ruins and follow from the lake up the river, working our way to the coast. Along the way, hopefully, we'll run into some of these large reptilian predators that this site is named after. And once we get to the ocean, we'll come across the Belizean Barrier Reef. This is the second largest barrier reef in the entire world. Hopefully on this trip, we'll be able to see why the rainforest and the barrier reef make Belize a hidden gem of Central America. I start my journey on the New River Lake, which will lead me downriver. This rainforest is almost impenetrable, and it would take me days to traverse on foot. But the river acts as a highway cutting right through the forest straight to the coast. Halfway though, I stop at a small village where I change boats. From this point, the river water becomes more salty as we approach the coast, and we need a more seaworthy boat for when we hit the ocean. The rainforest now has become a mangrove swamp, since these mangrove trees are the only trees that can tolerate the salty, brackish water. In this ecosystem, where the fresh and saltwater meet, that is a perfect home for American crocodiles, the animals I'm looking for. We hit the coastal town of San Pedro just as night falls. In the dark of the night, I take the chance to scout out the swamps, looking for a good spot to come back the next morning and find crocodiles. Alright, so, right now, we've come out around 8:30 p.m. As you can see, it's clearly very dark outside. We've come to a spot where locals tell us there's a large amount of crocodiles. We're gonna come back in the morning and be able to actually see them, but right now what I want to do is use our lights to get a good look at where they are. What happens is their eyes actually reflect light like a dog or a cat. These guys are animals that are hunting both during the day and at night. So this reflective layer in their eyes actually allows them to amplify ambient light. So the moon, the stars, they can see that and use that to find prey and find food. So let's go out. Okay, right now we haven't even walked out at all. We are right off the road, and I just turned my light on and I see got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe more crocodiles right here on the bank, right here in front of us. This is absolutely incredible. This place, the locals were not kidding. these guys are everywhere. So right now this is the American crocodile, Crocodilus acutus. This is the most widespread crocodile that you get in the New World. They're found everywhere from the southern tip of Florida all the way down to the coast of South America, Venezuela, Ecuador, Belize, stuff like that. So these guys are very large. They're larger than the American alligator that we get in the U.S. They'll grow to about 20 feet long maximum. Even though they're a large-sized crocodile, they're not incredibly aggressive. Relatively speaking, they're about middle-of-the-road aggression. They're not as placid as you'll see like freshwater crocodiles or even American alligators. They are more aggressive than American alligators, but they're not the level of aggression that you see in saltwater crocodiles in Australia or Nile crocodiles in Africa. So the videos you see of the crocodiles just charging at people any chance they get, you won't get that with these guys. But that being said, they do attack people. It is something that happens every now and then. They have been known to kill in rare circumstances, so we are going to give these guys as much space as they need. Obviously, I don't want to end up on their menu today, and I would very much like to be able to get home to get this footage and show to people, because this is absolutely phenomenal. I'll be honest, they said you could see the lights, and I expected to see some eye shine out there in the water, but I did not expect to be right here with them, be right eye level. These guys are no more, a couple yards from us. I can see the exact pattern on the scales. They're that close. There's two right ahead of us. They look to be about maybe 10 feet long. So, not giant, but definitely full-grown adult crocodiles. And I cannot wait to come out here during the day and see these guys in the daylight. Hopefully when that happens, I might not feel as jumpy as I do now. Something about, being out here in the middle of the night is a little nerve-wracking. So we're gonna head out of here.
The next morning, I head back into the mangroves to the same spot as last night, and sure enough, my new friends are there waiting for me.
Alright, so we've come out here around 6:30 a.m. The sun's just coming up. We came out to the same spot that we came out last night to. And sure enough, almost in the exact same places, we've got crocodiles. Now, the sun's just come up, so if they're just getting that first couple rays of sunshine, what they're doing is they're soaking it up, warming themselves up so they can get ready for their day. Crocodiles, like all reptiles, are cold-blooded or ectothermic. What that means is that they get their body temperature from the surrounding temperatures. They don't generate it like mammals do. So once these guys reach a comfortable body temperature, they will then retreat into the water to cool off or start to hunt or whatever they need to do. This is absolutely incredible. We're about 10 yards from human houses, civilization, and we have just these massive crocodiles. This guy up here closest to us, he's got to be about 10 feet long. And he's just not even fazed by us being here. We're not going to get too close because I don't know how these animals will react to us. These are potentially dangerous animals, and their bite could do some serious damage, even if they were to let us go. So we're just going to slowly approach, and I'm going to try and get some good shots of them here, and hopefully it goes well. Guy at the front here is missing some teeth. At any given moment, crocodiles will have about 60 to 66 teeth in their mouths, but they will knock teeth out throughout their lives. They will lose several hundred teeth. Crocodiles aren't like humans, where we can only lose our teeth once and then the second set is permanent. These guys will continuously regrow teeth throughout their lives, kind of like a shark. Just as one tooth falls out, another will grow in. So this guy right here, who's sort of missing some teeth, sooner or later, he will grow them back, and they will be as good as new. It's important to never get this close to animals like this. I'm constantly watching this crocodile, reading his behavior. I keep my eyes around me too, as this water is absolutely full of crocodiles. Crocodiles aren't monsters, but it is important that we treat them with the respect they deserve. This place is covered in trash and litter from the nearby community. Not only is this litter dangerous to the crocodiles in the larger ecosystem, but it also has the potential to be swept into the ocean and cause further harm. It's so important that we reduce our plastic use and replace it with reusable, recyclable, or biodegradable materials, or else soon these magnificent animals and their home could disappear. Now, it's time for me to continue my journey to its final destination, as the brackish water of the mangroves and estuaries empties out into the depths of the ocean.
All right, we've made it from the jungle ruins on the mainland, through the river, through the crocodile-filled mangroves, and now we're here on the coast of Belize, facing the barrier reef. This is the second largest barrier reef in the entire world. What we're gonna do is we're gonna strap on some scuba tanks, go diving in the reef, and hopefully see some of the hundreds of species that call this reef home.
The Belize Barrier Reef, part of the larger Mesoamerican Barrier Reef system, lies only about 300 meters off the coast, making it a surprisingly short boat ride. Strapping in my scuba gear, I am eager to dive into the crystal blue water. On a boat like this, divers enter the water by taking one large, smooth step. It doesn't happen that easily for me. Diving down towards the reef, I'm instantly struck by its beauty. Corals stretch on as far as the eye can see, forming massive mountains and deep canyons. As I swim through, I see life everywhere. Fish everywhere of all shapes and sizes. I follow this school down into one of the canyons. It's a tight squeeze, but it's worth it when right in front of me I see a moray eel. This is a green moray, an apex predator of the reef. Look at the way he hides amongst the reef crevices, waiting for prey. Here's another one, a spotted moray. In the distance, I see a male green sea turtle. You can always tell males from females by that long reptilian tail on the males. Females have much shorter tails by comparison. As this beautiful boy swims off, I see another special treat, a spotted eagle ray. Unlike stingrays, these animals swim high off the ocean floor. Look at the way it gracefully glides over the coral, almost like a bird flying in slow motion. Against the corals, its spots instantly camouflage it, making him nearly invisible. I'm completely dumbfounded. This reef is just full of life, but nothing prepares me for what's coming next. Looking into the distance, I spot it and give that unmistakable hand sign. Shark. Sure enough, there it is, a Caribbean reef shark swimming in the distance. Like most sharks, reef sharks pack a nasty bite, but attacks on humans are very rare. Their aerodynamic fins and powerful tails allow them to glide effortlessly through the water and out of sight. But just when I think the shark fun is over, round 2 starts. It's a nurse shark, and it's a lot closer. And not just one nurse shark, but 2, right here in front of me. Just looking at these sharks shows how different they are from the reef sharks. Their fins are a lot broader and flappier. They flutter like the wings of a butterfly as they slowly cruise the reef, looking almost like a dance. I can't believe my luck. What's making them so bold and outgoing? Why are they getting this close to us? This one settles on the sandy bottom. Nurse sharks are one of the few sharks that can actually stop moving and still breathe. They do this by opening their mouths, creating a vacuum, and sucking in water, pumping it over their gills. Here you can see the barbels on their snout. These are sensitive chemoreceptors, which allow the sharks to taste and smell and find their food even at night. These sharks are hunting clams, crabs, and fish really anything they can fit in their mouths. These beautiful sharks are completely placid. They swim harmlessly around me, almost like a lost puppy. In fact, it almost seems like they're following me. How crazy is this? Being followed by some friendly nurse sharks. Look at the way they just swim right up. Absolutely incredible. They also swim right next to our dive guide. It's almost like they want something from us. But I'm at a loss for words. I have no idea why these sharks are so enthralled by our presence. Just then, our dive guide spots something in the rocks and pulls out a spear. He harpoons a lionfish. Lionfish come from the Pacific, but they were introduced to the Caribbean by humans and have become an invasive species. They're voracious predators, eating anything in their path, and they're covered with venomous spines. But now our guide has one on his spear, and he's actually giving it to the nurse shark. Now that the fish is speared, the shark can grab it without getting stuck on the spines, and the shark just gulps it down happily. This is incredible. I've never seen anything like this before. Our guide spears another one for the second shark, and I'll bet this is just a regular thing he does. This is why they were following us around. This is humans and animals working together to help eliminate a destructive ecological problem. And the sharks clearly love it. They get a free meal after all. Sharks are apex predators. They're responsible for keeping the entire ecosystem in check and maintaining balance, which is something that is sorely needed. In addition to the invasive lionfish, this reef also faces threats from recent offshore drilling off the coast of Belize, as well as by climate change and increasing global temperatures. Reefs rely on very precise water conditions, and changing that through temperature or chemical pollution could result in the death of the coral, the collapse of the ecosystem, and the loss of this beautiful underwater treasure and the amazing animals that call it home.
This has been an absolutely incredible experience. From the pristine jungles of the Mayan ruins, to the massive crocodiles of the mangroves, to here, the beautiful barrier reef of Belize. If it teaches us anything, it's the importance of preserving and protecting our world's natural beauties. And hopefully, we can work together to make that happen.